Kevin Harrison led the open class early in the year. Joel Coolidge and Billy Fling nearly caught the Southern Clod Slinger after some mid-season blues. Well, the Modified Championship is wrapped up, but a battle between two rear-engine dynamos has begun late in the season. With the cool breeze blowing back in, this championship may be the furthest thing from the minds of these racers. For the final time this year, welcome back to Steelville, Missouri, Booker Farms, and the Upper Merrimack Dirt Drags for the final round of the 2022 MRA Championship Series. And we've got two classes coming your way to wrap up this weekend's festivities. We'll have, of course, the open paddle class. That's what we'll start with, and then a little later we'll bring you the modified cut class. Of course, both of these classes are all but wrapped up. In fact, as you see the points here, Shane O'Rogie has become the presumed champion of the modified class. He will be driving Greg Martinez's Scream Bronco in the modified cut division. Later, we'll get to that as the story rolls on. Of course, in the open class, Kevin Harrison has pretty well mathematically wrapped up his season championship, but he does not intend to back into the end of this season. He is going after the purse and the record here on 200 feet of Show Me State soil at the Upper Merrimack Dirt Drags, and we are going to get right into the action right now with our first pairing, and that will feature the man who drove the furthest to get here out of Hornpain, Ontario. This is Steve Renaud, his crew chief Gary Baker alongside him. 526 cubic inch 481X prepared by Atchison Machine Service out of London, Ontario. In the back of that racing in the dirt chassis, he moves alongside a guy who led the points and was last year's season champion in both the paddle tire and cut tire division in the open class. That's Billy Fling out of Sunbury, Ohio in reality check. Now, of course, the 481X in the back of the Frantic machine makes its peak performance at a lower RPM that could come at a disadvantage, but we've seen him win on 200 feet of soil before in both classes. Great ride to start things off. Fling runs a 2:15. Renaud a 2:07 to take the number one spot. A great pair of passes to open the class right now, and you can see the activity on the starting line there. You see Paul Wessinger, who will not be in competition today as they blew the engine on Paperboy Express, wrapping up the cut tire class earlier with some weather delays we had yesterday. They're having to make 3 runs on these open class cars. You see it right there. Fling moving a little bit to the left-hand side of that right lane. That may have hurt him. It looked like Renaud stayed a little straighter. We'll get a good indication from this end of the track. Indeed, Renaud right about down the middle of the lane. Fling's movement in the lane is probably what cost him some time there. We'll see if he can put that horsepower into the left-hand lane when he comes back for session 2. Now, Jim Ingram, out of the state of Texas, Simonton, Texas to be exact, Hemi-powered 500 cubic inch screw-blown Hemi in the back of Bad Trouble 3. And Ingram, in my humble opinion, is going to be a contender for the 2023 championship. Let's see what he has here in session 1. And it looks like he just went out of bounds, unfortunately, with a vehicle that was definitely making horsepower off the start. So, as straight as Renaud went in that lane, Ingram did not get the same. Here comes a guy who showed up today to run exclusively in the paddle tire class, ended up making a pass in the cut tire division. This is Cody Rossman in the penny pusher. A lot of smoke coming out as he is eating some fuel. He had an interesting launch as well, and I don't believe that's his only problem as the vehicle goes off the end of the track. In fact, it looks like he may have lost a blower belt. He still runs a 313. Pretty fast ride considering he had some mechanical problems there, and he in fact did lose a blower belt. You see the crew picking it up. That's a tough break for that gentleman. We'll see We can see where it came off. He had a great start. The car moving around a little bit. This might be the worst of the two lanes right now. And keep an eye out for that. Oh, there you see it right there as it falls off the back. So it came out maybe, I don't know, about a third of the way down the track, and it finally fell out of the back of the frame right before the timing lights. Here comes another racing in the dirt chassis. Nightmare 6, multi-generation team here. The son of the father-son team that is Tyler Coolidge at the wheel out of Two Harbors, Minnesota, going side by side with Jim Lamb. Full throttle out of Iron Junction, Minnesota. A pair of coal country flyers here. This will be our first look at Jim Lamb here at the very tail end of this season. But this guy is a killer in the class. A lot of horsepower. He is going to put it to the wood and hope for the best alongside one of the toughest young jockeys. Oh, and Lamb's in trouble. Almost put that car on its top. Heads up driving for both of those guys. Lamb just wiped out the clocks though, so neither of those vehicles are going to get a time. A big problem. Let's look at it again. Lamb was in trouble right off the starting line. He crosses the center, runs over the timing lights. You see how close he was to putting that thing into a barrel roll, in and out of the throttle at the tail end of the run. Managed to flatten the car out, but he did at one point have that thing completely airborne. Watch again from the top end. Working to get it shut down, and the evasive driving from Tyler Coolidge definitely saved a lot of trouble there for both of those guys. Is right now what you're seeing is Travis Shoemaker and Greg Monsmith have moved the 60-foot clock out to the middle of the track to now serve as the end zone timing lights. But one more time in real time, Jim Lamb going for a ride. We are back up and running very quickly, so we no longer have a 60-foot timer, but we do have starting line and finish line timing lights. I'm not sure what we're going to do if anybody wipes those new clocks out. As your points leader and presumed champion, Kevin Harrison, rolls to the line in the Harrison Logging Never Enough Eric Bidlack built machine out of Grenada, Mississippi, with a screw-blown 527 cubic inch Noonan race engine. That is some Aussie horsepower. Chassis once again built by Eric Bidlack out of the state of Ohio, and he is in his family have traveled around the country with the Harrison team, who has another Eric Bidlack built vehicle we saw yesterday with the turbocharged engine. Let's see. Beautiful run for Harrison as he thunders through the Show Me State soil. Sub 2-second run, a 198 with a 1 moves him clearly into the number 1 spot. So Harrison will take over the lead here in session 1 after a beautiful straight line pass, and you can see he's well out in front of the rest of the field. One more look at it here. Kevin Harrison wrapping up the open class in style. Maybe a little bit of movement in the lane he didn't want, but a great straight ride for the big bad machine out of Mississippi. Stay with us, more to come from here in the Show Me State.
This is more than mud. This is hallowed ground, where legends are born. Carnage is wrought. The Terrell Jones Memorial Scooby-Doo Fastest of the Fast returns to Sanford, April 7th and 8th. The wildest hill and hole action in the country. Unlimited DOT classes compete, along with the quickest, fastest machines of the fast track and the gnarly nitrous shootout and blown alcohol madness. 2 full days, multiple classes, intense competition. The Terrell Jones Memorial Scooby-Doo Fastest of the Fast. Coming to the Lee County Mud Sports Complex in Sanford, April 7th and 8th.
This Back Channel Productions program is brought to you in part by RPM Army. For a wide array of content from across the motorsports world, visit rpmarmy.com. Your high-performance fix on the go.
Welcome back to Steelville, Missouri. After a wild start to the Session 1 here with the open class, we are in Session 1 now of the modified division. No blowers in this class, a lot of nitrous though, and some big-time power plants. as we'll open things up there with the 65 Chevy out of Woodlawn, Tennessee. That is Jamie Suter, 872 cubic inch rear and Morrison horsepower with a SpeedTech 4-stage nitrous system controlled by a Speedwire nitrous controller, 2-speed Lenco transmission. Going alongside the newcomer to the class, Daniel Kerher with the Racing in the Dirt, built looking for trouble. A lot of smoke out of that machine. Beautiful run for Jamie Suter, who's been having electrical problems all weekend long. A 2.61, 2.7, not bad for Kerher, considering he has clearly got something going wrong with looking for trouble. We'll see if he comes back even in Session 2, as there is your presumed champion driver right now, Shane O'Rogie, at the wheel of Greg Martinez's Scream. Shane, of course, out of Cleveland, Wisconsin, driving the vehicle out of Las Vegas, New Mexico. Normally driven by Greg Martinez, owned by Greg and Carlos. Not quite what he was looking for. A 2.76 will put him in third place out of 3 vehicles that have gone. So I have to say, I think the wear and tear of a long day might finally be taking its toll on these cars. Here's another Bronco being driven by a man out of Wisconsin. The Racing in the Dirt Shop has had their hands on that one as well. It's Jason Chaya and Little Crazy out of Weyawega, Wisconsin. About an hour west of Green Bay with a 788 cubic inch Bischoff Ford Hemi. Goes side by side with a guy we are glad to see back in action, Wayne Bonnecker out of St. Louis, Missouri, 814 cubic inch Hemi in that beautiful rod called Self-Inflicted. Both of these guys competed yesterday in the OPS class, now here in the modified cuts, side by side, 2 very capable machines. See what they have for each other. Remember, they're running the clock, not each other. Problem for Bonnecker off the line, but good once he got going. Look at him shutting it down there. A 2.63 and a 2.59 for Jason Chaya. He'll take the number 1 spot away from Jamie Suter. Bonnecker with that 2.63, I believe, will move into the number 3 spot just behind Suter. So Jamie Suter with 2 very capable machines on either side of him. He is going to have to put some horsepower into that big black Chevy when he comes back for Session 2. But both of those guys have to be happy, even Bonnecker, in spite of the problems he has. Now, let's see what this guy can do. Casey Lawyer in strategic attack. 36 Chevy with a 712 VZ race engine, big block Chevrolet. Got off the line good at 2.64 for Casey Lawyer. That'll put him in the conversation, the number 4 spot to be exact, with 2 left to go in the class. Watch him again. Beautiful straight ride for him, carrying the front end. Maybe a little shake up there on the starting line. He moved around a little bit on those rear tires. Maybe didn't need that movement. Watch him again right there. A little shimmy shake coming off the line. No problem. Got a little out of shape coming through the traps, but he will be okay as the fastest 2 in the class this weekend get set to go and maybe decimate all the times we've been seeing there. You see Caleb Dunsavage in Color Me Gone, a vehicle that he and his father, the legendary Ron Dunsavage, who's been around forever, built together. He goes side by side with the Keystone Killer Keith Mitchell out of Fredonia, Pennsylvania in the Magician. 2 legends in the sport. One at the wheel, he's been around for quite some time, and I am not calling either of those guys old. Mitchell and Dunsavage have started a little rivalry here late in the year, and I hope it transfers on in to 2023, because I know these guys are going to be killing it at the top of the field if they show up for every race next year of the 5-event series we'll be seeing in 2023. We'll be bringing you some of that action as well. Right now, though, score to settle here in the modified cut Class 2, very powerful rear engine rails. Boy, Dunsavage looked just about perfect. Maybe a little to the middle of the lane at 2.45 to take him to the number 1 spot, and a 2.56 for Mitchell will put him number 2. And I'm going to tell you, as many times as we have talked to Keith Mitchell, I'm going to say he was not happy with that run. As fast as it was, In any other field, he probably would have been number one, but he had one of the toughest in the class alongside of him to his left. So we'll see if they can keep it on top when they come back for session 2. We watch it again, moving quick here in the Show Me State Soil. Stay with us, more to come from Booker Farms. Eric Bidlack getting his teammate and team owner Kevin Harrison, your presumed champion of the Dan Richter Open Paddle Tire class. He's already wrapped up the Kelly Odell Open Cut Class Championship, and we'll see what he has here in session 2. He's on a fresh groom, different lane than he ran in the first session. He ran a 1.98 with a 1. He'd like to go even faster. If he could dominate this place and take the record on 200 feet of Show Me State Soil for the 200-foot track distance, he would like to do that as well. We'll see what he puts down for a time. I know Harrison has said he may not go after that record just because he already had to run a pass on the open cuts today due to some of the delays we had last night. So he's putting a lot of wear and tear on this car, but let's see what he has. Can he stay on top of the open paddles? Look at this, back-to-back 1.98s, that one with a 6, the first one with a 1, 2 very consistent passes, and I'm going to guess he's going to take them and put that thing on the trailer. He'll have to go to the scales first and get that thing weighed to make sure it's legal, but I'm sure it is as he comes down the track. Nice and straight run for, again, keep calling the presumed champion. We're just going to call him the 2022 Open Class Champion, both the paddle and cut tire divisions. Good crowd on hand. They're in t-shirts, but it's starting to get cool no matter, because these blower motors love the cool heavy air that we have in the upper Merrimack region of the Show Me State. Here comes Cody Rossman again in penny pusher. Remember, he lost that blower belt in session 1. Let's see if he can hold it together here in this second session. Hopefully he can, because this should be an ultra quick machine. See what he can do here. Again, showed up to run this class, ended up running the open cuts, so he put a couple extra runs on this car. Maybe he didn't want to, but I know this machine is very impressive. Definitely capable of knocking down the top dogs. Wow, big pop right off the starting line. Something going away on that vehicle. Not sure if he just lifted the blower or not, but you could hear that thing come down and the motor whining as he glides to a stop on the far end of that track. He laid down a legal run. He will get a time, but he is not going to be a happy camper right now. A 2.46 with a pop motor. That's not too bad considering, but I'm sure he feels otherwise. That is going to be a tough break for him. A 2.46 with a 3 right there. You see that thing pop coming off the line, and that will take us back to the starting line as Rossman just got towed off. Jim Ingram also on a single pass here, as we've had now 3 singles in session 2. Ingram out of Simonton, Texas. Chasing a 1.98, 2.11 for Jim Ingram, and a beautiful run. Again, this guy is going to be one to watch in 2023. Another look at it. Watch Ingram, a little movement at about half track, but a great run. He's able to stay on the throttle, and one of the great things about this track here is that there is so much shutdown area. You can stay in the power pretty much as long as you want, provided you don't do what we saw earlier and get over into the center of the track or into the other lane. Now as Billy Fling comes out, Sunbury, Ohio, in the Hemi-powered reality check, and you saw Gary Baker standing on the line with the headset. He's in communication with that guy right there, Steve Renaud, out of Hornpain, Ontario. The 481X-powered Frantic, beautiful jet black machine. Frantic emblazoned on the side. This should be a good match here in session 2. Frantic ran a 2.07 in session 1, but he had problems there. Billy Fling with a 2.21 with a 2, and Renaud did not get a time. I don't know if we had a clock malfunction or what, but I don't think he's coming back. And there you see the culprit for that run. He dropped a blower belt. That's going to unfortunately be the way we wrap up open class action today. But these cars have been getting beat all season long. There you see the final standings from here today. Kevin Harrison undoubtedly dominated the class here this weekend. He has officially won both divisions as far as the championship goes, and he won both divisions here in Steelville. We will be talking to Kevin later on tonight. We're going to let them get packed up, get to the scales, make sure everything's legal, get their prize money, get their trophies and all that. We will be back, though. We still have the Mod Championship to wrap up here in Steelville. Don't go anywhere. The final groom for the 2022 season going down right now as the mods get ready to pull out. The tractor will leave this 200-foot dirt drag course, and there you see the feet of Ron Dunsavage feeling the starting line out. There is Keith Mitchell. 960 cubic inches of Sonny's power plant in the back of that thing, and Caleb Dunsavage, the second-generation driver at the wheel of Color Me Gone. Again, I don't have to say anything. Let's just watch him go. As good as Mitchell was yesterday, I don't think he's going to be happy with these times. They're still looking good. They could have won any other day of the week. A 2.55, 2.49 for Dunsavage, though. He's definitely holding strong in that number one spot. He ran a 2.45 in session 1, so he lost a little bit right there. But it's going to be hard for the rest of this field to climb over that 2.45 that he laid down earlier today. As we watch it again, a good pair of runs. Take nothing away from Mitchell, but as many times as I say that we have talked to that guy, he's always looking for a little more. He did cross the finish line first, but again, they're racing the clock and not each other. Casey Lawyer back on the line in strategic attack. See what he has now in session 2. This beautiful 32 Chevy. Guy, we waited all season to really get a look at because there was a lot of hype surrounding this beautiful pickup. Carrying the front end down there at 2.64 with his first run, but he red lights on this one and wastes a beautiful pass. And I'm telling you, that one was probably going to be faster. He didn't move around as much on the starting line, was able to keep the power down longer. You see him back out of the throttle there, burning off a little fuel on those headers. A great ride, but unfortunately it was wasted on a red light situation. Now back to the line comes Wayne Bonneker, and self-inflicted out of St. Louis, Missouri. Going toe-to-toe with Jason Chaya, your champion in the OPS class, now trying to get some more points and prize money here in the Modifieds. Problems for Chaya, and Wayne Bonneker blasts the track, a 2.49. That will get him solidly into second place as Chaya sits there with engine problems. Maybe something wrong in the intake there. I'm not sure, but something did not sound right. He got a good launch, but it went away very quickly. Bonneker having to work for a living there on the end of the track as he moved off to the left-hand side, and Chaya gets towed off, unfortunately. He'll be okay, though. Going to regroup and come back for 2023 with something new. Another Bronco on the line. It'll be Shane O'Rourke and Scream going side by side with that beautiful black Chevrolet of Jamie Suter out of Woodlawn, Tennessee. Shane O'Rourke again trying to keep the Martinez family up in the modified points. He's kept them there this year. as Olrogi's deranged machine out of Cleveland, Wisconsin, the Racing in the Dirt machine, has wrapped up the modified championship. Jamie Suter now on the line. He and his crew trying to get this machine that much more horsepower. He does believe he can overtake Caleb Dunsavage here. He had electrical problems all weekend long. He's finally overcome them, it looks like, and he is going to try to put that big horsepower to the track as he lifts the front end of that big Chevrolet and carries it through the timing lights. Big blaze off the start, and Olrogi is off the power with issues there. Olrogi runs a 3.28, and Suter clearly not going to get to the finish line. We're going to check on him right now. You can see Monsmith over there, Greg Monsmith, and I believe that was Will Harrison that ran up. Look at the blaze, a quick flash fire, but it was big. Got back there in the cockpit with him right in the face with that big pop, unfortunately, and that will wrap up the action for the 2022 MRA Championship. This one went out in a blaze. I will say that the open class did not end the way we hoped it would as far as the races down the track, but Kevin Harrison had a good night, and here in the modified class you can see clearly on the board in the points is Shane Olrogi, and we are going to make our way over to him as the sun sets behind the foothills here. We're going to get our chance to talk with your 2022 modified class champion. Well, Shane's been a long season, not exactly the way we thought you'd wrap up the points championship, but you guys were there every race you were at.
We had a good year. Just didn't bring the range to the finals. Dad was working, had stuff going on. I had Scream here and working on Nightmare, so it was a little busy. So it was a good race. Didn't need to have it here. I wanted it here, but the year overall, consistent, fast. Next year we're going to kind of do a little different. We're going to run a little harder and maybe not run as many passes. So a little different.
Well, you know, it's nice you guys to be able to get Greg's truck out when he couldn't be here. And again, having to do it this week, I know it was nice to have a car here to run. And it seemed like it worked well for you until the last pass.
It's been a great partnership. They just trust us to work on the truck. Just between last year and this year, that thing has came so far. And he drives it good when he's in it. They're willing to learn it. Just a great group of people to have around. The whole family's good, just awesome. Well,
congratulations on the points championship, and hopefully we'll see you in your car and Greg back in his car next year.
Oh, absolutely. We're looking forward to 23.
Let them check out all of these trucks that you just saw run down this dirt track tonight, meet the drivers, the teams, and maybe buy some merchandise and get some autographs, all right?
Well, Keith Mitchell, not the end to the weekend you were hoping for, but the car stayed in one piece.
That's all. That's what we looked at it as. Is we had a hard time getting hold of starting line for some reason. About half tracks, you got a hold of something, but we're struggled to get a hold of that starting line. We'll tear it apart and find out what's going on with it. But no, very much congratulations to Caleb and Wayne Bonniger for getting first and second. Wayne did a lot of work to get here, and I'm happy for them both. It was good, but we put it back in. We're going to put it back in the trailer in one piece, and that's a good way to finish up. And had a good year, so we'll take it.
It's been a rough year overall for the Mud Race and the Dirt Drags family with everybody that's been lost and all that. And it's good to see, like you said, Wayne back out here. Everybody kind of and I mean, I know you're in the mod class, but you ran with Dan back in the NMRO days, so you know he was riding along with you guys, keeping you safe out here.
Absolutely, yeah. No, we think of him every weekend and miss him, and hope everybody's. I don't even know what to say, but it's a shame to lose somebody too early, too young.
Well, we'll let you go, let you get packed up, and it's been an awesome 2022. Can't wait to see you in 23.
Absolutely, thank you.
I do want to say one more thing, guys, before we get the truck bills going. While we do have this break right
Kevin Harrison, a pair of 198s, you 300s off that national record, but you're in two of them back to back. That is still a pair of good runs. The first sub 2 second on this track.
Yes, sir. It felt great. We were shooting for the record, but we just couldn't pull it out. But still a great weekend. I mean, I won both classes. I won the points for the year. I mean, we have had a great weekend, a great year. So looking forward to starting back over again next year.
Finally get to back half this car, too. I mean, we've been joking about it all year long, but it had to feel good coming away from that. I mean, that was a crash. For all intents and purposes, you crashed the car and bounced back, and you bounced back very well.
Yes, sir. He come back. Eric's help. We squared everything up best we could. A little crooked, but we went down the track straight.
Well, we want to congratulate you. I mean, what can you ask for? Sub 2 second on 200 feet all year long has not been happening, and it happened here at the last race of the year.
Yes, sir. I had it pretty hot. I was swinging for the fence. His last race, we was going for it.
Well, we felt you when you went by. Can't wait to see you again in 23.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all for coming out with us every race.
The drivers, the cars, you can check them all out. Meet the drivers, check out the cars.
Well, Wayne, it's good to see you back out here, kind of close to home, but car ran awesome in the mod class.
We finally got a good pass out of it this weekend. Yes, sir. We did an awesome job. Me and my engine builder, I'm glad he was here and got it all done. John Conkle, thanks a lot.
Well, you know, this was a good track, but it seemed like everybody was fighting that right lane off the starting line.
It was. I don't know what I got a hold of, but I got a hold of something. I don't know where it was at, but I was awful thankful for that.
Well, the clocks were kind to you this weekend, and home state second place, but car ran straight for you, and you were able to come out against a tough field, the likes of Keith Mitchell, and had to feel good.
I agree. Oh, I'm well pleased. Kind of upset me I beat Keith, but, you know, on the other hand, it was pretty nice.
Well, we'll let you guys get packed up. We know you got a long ride home.
All right, thank you. Yeah, a whole hour.
And it is good to see Wayne Boddicker back out here. Hadn't lost his sense of humor. He has had a tough year, but next year hopefully will be a better one for that family. They plan on coming back and coming back strong. Everyone does. We cannot wait to be back for the 2023 MRA Championship Series that'll start down in the Sunshine State under beautiful conditions, we hope, in Panama City, Florida. We will see you then. Thanks for joining us for this 2022 edition of the MRA Championship Series. We will see you in 2023.